Winston is hard, but he rewards good decision making. I'm Awkward, a rank 1 player that coaches players for a living at rankupacademy.gg. In this video, I'm going to show you simple concepts that are very easy to digest in order to improve your Winston gameplay and rank up. Let's get into it. First, I want to explain in the most condensed way possible what is Winston's strength and what is his weakness. So let's start with the weakness. Winston just lacks damage. It takes him quite some time to get a kill, but his strength is mobility, which means that he can surprise the enemies quite often and he can capitalize on enemies that don't have cooldowns, that are low HP, or simply aren't looking with his mobility, which is his jump. So let's say these are the enemies and they're looking at your team. Boom. Surprise the enemies and all of a sudden they're half health before they even manage to turn around. Because you're the tank player, initially you should be the one taking the attention so your team can put themselves in position that later will distract for you, so then you can capitalize on the fact that the enemies aren't looking at you. So how do you do that? Instead of jumping in front of them like this, where everybody can shoot you and potentially kill you, but even if you live now, your supports have to heal you and they can't be doing damage or use cooldowns and use all of their cooldowns on you, you do something that is called setup. What is setup? Is instead of jumping in front of them like this, you jump on top of them where you still can maintain cover and go back and not lose a little poke while still distracting. And when you're here, your team can now walk forward, take this space, grab the attention, and then you simply fall down onto the enemies. In the worst case scenario, if they look at you, you can jump away. Now, how to use your bubble? Your bubble needs to be used when you're actually in danger. That means when you are extending and have kill potential. If you just jump like this in front of a bunch of enemies and place your bubble, and you now have to leave, that means that you cannot overextend now without your bubble. So the idea is to set up, poke, distract, your team now walks forward, they're paying attention to your team, and now you capitalize. You want to force some cooldowns ideally before you go in with your bubble, so then you can capitalize off the fact and almost guaranteed to get a kill because the enemies simply don't have anything to protect themselves against you. So the steps are set up and distract. Your team goes forward, they're distracting for you. Now you hard engage when the enemies are fully distracted. That's how you mitigate the weakness of Winston and also play to his strength. So what we're gonna do initially is go to main, figure out where the enemies are at, poke them perhaps with some right clicks. The reason why I want to know where the enemies are at is because we want to set up. We want to kind of distract and we don't know where they're at. We don't know where to jump. So I'm going to try to avoid taking as much poke damage as I can. So then my setup will be even better. So I know there's a diva here. Check this out. I know they're on the right side. What I can do is in a second jump to the left side. Diva no flight, which means they can't capitalize. I set up. Not taking a bunch of poke damage. See, my team is now taking the space. I see they're cut off. I immediately capitalize. I see that I'm not gonna get the kill. I disengage. Okay, have a big advantage. Notice how much space my team is taking. I go for the diva. Why? Because she's low. Gonna cut off the supports a bit. I have low HP, so I need to pay attention to not overextend there. I saw Diana was low, so I went for it. Had to place a bubble to protect myself from dying. Well, unfortunately it didn't work, but you can see how the setup. I was waiting for the diva to have a little bit no flight, and then what did I do? Very simple. I set up, I distract the enemies, and look how much space my team took. My mistake was playing a little bit too aggressive there on supports with low HP. Could have been a little bit more patient. With tank, compared to other roles, you need to have way more patience. In the meantime, I'm gonna poke with some right clicks, because that forces enemies cooldowns. You can pick whatever perk you like. Trying to avoid that much poke damage. I know they're hanging on left side, so I can stage here. Look, the diva is flying onto me, which means that my team can walk forward for free. Again, setting up. Have my primals, I can play more and more aggressively. Have my primal, so nothing to worry about. When there is my primal, when I'm low HP. Why do I go for Soj? Because she's by herself. And she can definitely die. When I was low HP, I just put my primal. The reason why I'm not afraid to play just with primal, but notice, I set up 2 times. One time onto the, I believe it was left side, and then I jumped here. distracted the enemies, which means they're looking at me, and my team just followed up, and then when I noticed the enemies are distracted or they're low HP, I just capitalized. Again, setting up, is poking, not trying to take too much poke damage, because Winston loses on poke damage battles. You will not outpoke other enemies compared to on Winston, compared to other roles. I can't be here by myself, my team is not even nearby. So what do I do? Just jump back. The game of Winston is engage and disengage. Trying to help my friend over here. Thought that he's getting low and try to protect him, but now we lost everyone, so we have to disengage. Can't really help this guy. He dies no matter what. Have to wait for my team. Also, it's very important to look back at your team very often to know where they are, so you know where to go. We're getting poked out, but that's okay. Poking. See, I'm not trying to go into a bunch of people and lose 5 million HP. It's okay to drop 100 HP, maybe 200, but not so much. Okay, so let me stage here. No, use my bubble, but that was discorded. Okay, now I have my jump. I can just go down. I thought she was gonna sleep, so I jump back up. D.Va's low. Notice again, and now when the enemies don't pay. Oh, the Winston died. When the Zen wasn't paying attention, just went for it. Now chaos begins. Everybody's busy with something. So what do I do? Kill Diana. It's going up the map. You see, like, I'm setting up, baiting the attention so my team can walk forward, and when they walk forward, I simply capitalize on the fact that they're not looking. Again, I'm setting up and waiting. The D.Va here. Not taking a bunch of poke damage for anything having happened. Gonna put the D.Va in a bubble because, well, it's getting low. Good, they use Discord. Uh-oh. I have to disengage there. I have my primal almost. Went for the primal because I was low. My primal mechanics are not amazing. Excuse me, this is not some Korean gameplay. But again, same concept. I also place the bubble when I'm low or when I'm trying to cut off heals. Well played. Gotta block the door, not letting them push. But again, not taking a bunch of poke damage for no reason. I don't push there. Before the fight begins and I'm in front of people's faces, I don't want to get poked out. This guy has no bubble. Oh, that's actually good. You're actually trying to fight that or what's going on? I just need to focus on what's on the point, right? Are we?
Teamwork makes the dream.
Wait, you're telling me that we lost it? That's kind of insane. Surprising. But the reason why we lost this, by the way, is I'm not gonna blame my team or anything. Why did I walk their spawn for no reason? Should have just focused on what's on the point. That's what I should have done. Focus on what's on the point instead of chasing people into spawn. So again, what we're gonna do, figure out where the enemies are at. If I jump in now, guess what happens? They just die. But now, because I have my problem, I'm gonna play more aggressive in the mid fight. Gonna take the space, gonna walk forward. When the enemies don't pay attention, like for right now, I can go. Went for the primal because I was inside a tiny room and they're all low HP. Again, what did I do? D.Va was low, which means she disengaged. Which means the Ana was busy healing her. She was not paying attention. And exactly when the enemies are the most busy, that's where I want to make my hard engagement. So again, what am I gonna do here? Set up. In just a second. When my team is nearby, I have to set up. So look, if I do it too early, okay, let's do this. Setting up. D.Va is chasing me, that's fine. Okay. But look how much space I've created. My team can easily walk forward if they wanted to. Try to use Nana for no reason. Putting a bubble to protect my team because I'm scared something will happen to them. They were not paying attention. I saw Ana was looking my Reaper. I just went for it. Go over to Kiri, of course, because it's a killable target. I'm with an Ana, so I can fight. Distracting a bunch of enemies. I need to go back. You see, I don't overextend it. I notice everybody's in front of my face. I back out. Gotta wait for my team. They're not here. Gotta not take a lot of poke damage beforehand. Unfortunately, I got nanoed like I didn't want to, but it's fine. Didn't want to get nanoed, but it's fine. It worked out. I know I'm not gonna try to C9 here. Maybe I used the bubble in there. Kind of a wrong way, but have to disengage here a bit. Oh. My bad. I mean, not really, but you know, we gotta do what we gotta do. Let's focus on the defense a little bit more. I think I'm playing fairly well. I think that I engage at times where the enemies are not paying attention. So initially I set up, I take the attention to myself so then my team can push forward. And when they're pushing forward, I come to, like, when they're pushing forward and the enemies are busy with other things, like their tank is low HP, so they have to heal, or their DPS are trying to take angles. That's exactly when I capitalize, when people don't pay attention to me. I initially grab the attention, so then my team can walk forward, and then grab the attention to them, which then I capitalize. When they use my bubble, in short, when I'm in danger, people actually look at me, I can get slept, or when I'm low HP, or sometimes use it to protect my teammates that are low HP. If you find my free content valuable, chances we can help more rankupacademy.gg. Get your initial free stat evaluation on the website. Sometimes, if I notice, by the way, that's kind of a low nuanced tip. If you notice that you playing so the idea is to play fundamentally well most of the time. It doesn't mean that you will win every game if you play fundamentally well most of the time. If you're noticing every time I go in, and even if I kill two, my backline is dying, maybe it's good to start with your backline, rather. Set up, and when you notice that they're engaging on your backline, go and help them instead of trying to constantly hit their backline. So if I notice the D.Va Tracer is killing my team, maybe it's best if I set up and then jump back to deal with the Tracer D.Va before going in. And see if I can, what they like to call, peel for my teammates. But you can't just stay with your teammates and expect something to happen. You first have to set up, bait the attention, and then the enemies will go, and then guy's making a big mistake. I tried to place the bubble, but I failed. Not giving up the space for free. Placing a bubble because I assumed this will show, and actually it kind of worked out. You see how the bubble, I didn't mean to do that, but it basically cut off the healing from the D.Va. Not gonna go now because that would be way too early. But he was low HP, so I capitalized. D.Va can probably get her mech in a second. I'm just talking, I'm setting up. Notice I'm not taking a bunch of poke damage before anything even happens. No jumping. If I waste my jump here, I will just die. I'm just poking with some right clicks. Don't need to do anything special. When they walk forward, I'm gonna drop down on them. When they're busy, like right now. They're all looking. Boom, I did my part. I simply disengage. See, that's why the sword got cut off. Now they're not paying attention, I go. Make my move. Unfortunately, I overextended too deep. I should have paid attention where my team was before going. Should have paid attention that my team can't go.
Bathe in sunlight.
Love to see Ana frontlining, jumping on the middle of the point.
I'm curious.
Exactly as I teach my ranked GMs. But it's fine. Good hold for 2 minutes. Overextended there at the end. My bad. Sort of not doing anything special. If I jump now, I will just die. I should have not done that. Didn't want to get forced to use primal that early. That's Disengage. Back to my support to get healed. I kind of overextended there a little bit too much, but it's okay.
Enemy spotted.
Usually I don't want to jump in front of a Reaper, but I noticed that he's actually kind of by himself. And he wasn't full HP. This guy's not paying attention. He dies. As soon as I saw Sojourn shooting, Sojourn's not paying attention. Oh, gotta leave the bubble. Leave the bubble covered. But it might probably die. Because she's by herself. Pretty damn good. This guy is not paying attention. Not died. Again, what I do, poking out, and then I'll set up like right over here. Because then I can just walk on the enemies without jumping in. And just poke. Oh, he's swapping too much. This guy is by himself, and in the meantime I have nothing better to do. I'm not gonna engage a Kitsune. Trying to help Mayana. This guy didn't have TP, I just go for it. Can't really play it. I have no HP. Have to disengage. Yeah, not being greedy. Disengage.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Very interesting Kitsune. Let me try to surprise them. Mara's probably not paying attention. And I was correct. Gotta use primal now. Even if I die here, it's fine. Because we killed 4, I didn't want to use primal when we were 4. But you see, I went from the left side and I wasn't paying attention because the team fight started happening. When a team fight happens, that's when the enemies are going to be most busy. And that's exactly when I try to engage on people that can die. Notice, by the way, that I'm not taking tank fights for the most part. Could have I engaged here? No, because it will be in front of a bunch of people. I don't want to get poked out too early. Where are my support? Over here. They're up there paying attention to the Mei. Let's see what I can do. They're not paying attention. I go. This guy can die. He's low HP. I go. Okay, Reaper TP'd onto me. It's fine. I still did enough to win the team fight. I guess.
Curious.
Enemy spotted. Stop the payload.
But it's the same thing. You see, like, why did I jump up in the sky? Because I didn't want to show up in front of their face. I'm trying to avoid people's faces because my strength is not to fight them one-on-one. See, they're not paying attention again. What do I do? Go for this guy. Oh, probably die. I have my primal, so. Not gonna fight a Reaper in a 1v1, it's kind of pointless, but I'm gonna attack a monkey because there's literally no one else to shoot. In the meantime, I'll set up. Just gotta poke some right clicks here and there. Oh, they have Bastion, which means that I have to be wary about the turret swarm. Never mind, I don't gonna worry about anything. Attacking them when they're not paying attention, they die. I'm not gonna try to 1v1 a Reaper. Reaper dies, I can now go in and poke a bit more. Notice, it's a push and pull game. I engage, I disengage, I engage, I disengage. When do I disengage? When I'm in danger. When do I engage? When the enemies are in danger. So, but also to bait their attention. I want to engage them to bait their attention. But then I disengage. And that's why I'm not committing every jump into the enemy's face. I first set up. I try to make them look at me by poking. I don't take a lot of poke damage in advance. Yeah, let me just poke. This guy, yeah, my bad. That was not setting up. Here, he's may jump and they capitalize. We should have just waited with that one, but it's okay. That was my bad, totally. Got nothing to say. But let's see, they're not paying attention. Maybe I can make a move here. Oh, these are transcendents. But let me see what I can do. I'm not paying attention, transcendence is over. Disengaging, waiting for my team a bit. And then I can go when they're not paying attention, like right about now. Have my primal. Perfectly played, perfectly played. Perfectly played. So what did I do this entire game is set up, bait the enemy's initial attention. When I bait their attention, my team is free to shoot them, they're free to take position, they're free to go. And when I notice that the enemies are shooting and going in, the enemies are distracted, which then I capitalize on the fact that they're distracted, and then I just kill the enemies that are not paying attention. When they use my primal, pretty simple. When I'm low, and when I'm low, I just engage with my primal. I'm not afraid because I get 1300 HP. When they use my bubble, it's pretty simple. When I'm in danger, when I hard engage usually, and the enemies are kind of looking at me, to block off heals on somebody that is low, or simply to protect the teammate. And also, it's very important in the setup phase. It's important to not take a bunch of damage, because if you take a bunch of damage, it means that your DPS and supports cannot help your supports cannot be in positions to do damage themselves, to use cooldowns offensively. And also, when your DPS are taking angles, they're going to be busy healing you instead of healing DPS that are shooting. And that is why it's important to not take so much poke damage. That's why you set up in advance. So you jump into a position that is distracting the damage that is relatively close, and then they look at you, but you don't want to lose a bunch of HP for that. What I mean by bunch of HP, like 300, 400. You can lose 100, 150, that gets healed pretty fast. So what am I going to do here on defense? Exactly as I explained before. I'm going to initially grab the attention of the enemies. I'm going to poke with some right clicks without taking so much poke damage. And this will allow my team to shoot at them, create angles, and when my team is doing that, I'm going to capitalize on the fact that the enemies are not paying attention, because that's the strength of my hero. I have mobility, I can get to position pretty fast. I'm just shooting some right clicks. Nothing crazy. Will he die from that? Probably not. But if they go right side, I might surprise him. He's using the corners, Okay, look, this guy's pushing, use his ability on me, that's fine. Now I can go when he has no cooldown, or at least try to go, and that's what we get a kill. You see, he was distracted, he was not paying attention, he used his cooldown. I then capitalized with my bubble to cut off the healing in my team's line of sight. It's very important to be in my team's line of sight, because then I can know if they will be able to follow up. This guy can die. It was low enough for me to... Okay, never mind. That was way too deep, way too deep. Big mistake. My team was not there to capitalize. And by the way, I forced my Freya to go into a really bad position. Let's see if I can surprise somebody, like right now, without jumping. Can't see anything. Well, I did, look, cutting off the healing, and because I distracted two of their supports in a Pharah, my team is having a pretty good time. And now, because Junker Queen's by herself, what do? I simply go for the kill. I don't need to stay on the Ana Kiri if they're not killing the Junker Queen. Kiri's not paying attention. I go. Ana was looking at me trying to heal the Kiri. She got eliminated by my team because she was distracted. See what I'm saying? I'm trying to not get so poked out too early. Doesn't mean that I hide. I'm trying to not lose a bunch of HP. Using a bunch of right clicks. I can't really go in now because they're spawned and I don't want to jump in front of the Junker Queen. Yeah, for Suzu, don't need to chase much further. Can use the payload as cover here. Yeah, he throws a knife. So what? Can just go back. And now when the enemies don't pay attention, I can go. Why do I go? Because I have primal. I'm not... Okay. Who is not paying attention? Kiri? Kiri's not paying attention? Perfect. Perfect. Kiri wasn't paying attention. I go. Will I go greedy? Yes, I do. Worst case scenario, I primal. I mean, I don't want to usually go into their spawn, but, you know, sometimes we gotta flex. The reason why I went there is because I knew Junker Queen and Kiriko was dead and they have no healing. A worst case scenario also have primal, but I didn't want to force to use primal. Again, what do? Spoke out in the meantime. Do you shout? It means that we can go here. Trying to follow. Let's go. Okay, guys. Not cool. I used to disengage. Farah died from her own barrage. Disengage. Don't need to do anything crazy. I know there are people there, so what do? I go. But I have low HP, so I don't want to go too much. Getting healed, and then I go. You see, I need to wait. This guy's not paying attention. He dies, and I'm put a bubble to cut off the healing as well. That was way too greedy for me to jump 1v3. You see that even though Junker Queen was 1 HP the entire time, I'm shooting, but she isn't dying. That's the problem with Winston. When you're face to face with people, especially a group, you will never be able to out-damage them. It's just not the strength of the hero. So what am I gonna do now? See where I can set up. Gonna wait for my team though. I can't really set up before anything even happens. So what do? I set up here, make them look. For Suzu, for Transcendence, and now they're all looking left side. It's fine by me, you know? Oh no. Okay, I tried. Well, as you can see, they now picked Roadhog and they also had more ult than us. We didn't have any ult and they used some, which was more difficult to win, but it's okay. I like the healing bubble perk. You can pick whatever is comfortable for you. Like, the perks are not gonna make a big difference in your gameplay. Especially on Winston, I find them to be somewhat weak, especially the first one. Got discorded, don't want to take too much poke damage, use cover. Roadhog is here, which means I can kind of go on here. Never mind, I can't go. I can poke. Where's my team? I gotta see where my team is at before I go. Maybe we just hold them around the corner. That'll be the better idea. No. I saw purple, I wanted to go for it.
Barrels are smoking.
My bad. Was not touching the point. Oh, yeah, I just gotta go back to spawn. So that they swapped the Roadhog, I just gotta worry about kind of engaging not in front of the Roadhog because then I'll get hooked.
Curious.
Same principle. Let me set up distract for my teammates, make sure that I play around cover to not get hooked. And my teammates are kind of around this area, so what I can do... Get healed. He was by himself, maybe I can kill him. Nope. Okay. Forced to ult, I guess, but... my bad.
Miracle of science.
Can't really go now. You wanna get poked out, got this for it, gotta hide.
Let the kitsune guide you.
Jumped in front of a bunch of people and died. To be honest, I just have to touch the point there.
Step right up. Going where outcomes
Alright,
are
gotta focus on the attack here. Again, I'm gonna attack, I'm gonna set up, make sure that the initially distract the enemies without taking so much poke damage. And then when my team starts walking forward, by the way, turn around, see where your team is at more frequently. You can't just tunnel vision, look forward, forward, forward. Discorded, avoided Discord. Meantime I poke. Meantime I poke. Where do I set up? Usually there's not a bunch of enemies. On HP, that was good. I mean, to be honest, I went to the right side. I didn't expect people to help me. I placed the bubble because I realized this is way too dangerous for me. But kind of worked because I baited so much attention. My team had the free space to walk in. But I think that I overextended. The problem is, if Pharaoh was there alone, I would have jumped. If Zen was there alone, I would have jumped. Because they're both of them, they're enough. It's enough to kill me. Just poking out the Pharaoh a bit. Have to kind of set up somewhere, like here. Look, everybody's looking. Kind of got stuck a bit, but now I'm behind cover. Okay. Now the enemies probably don't pay attention. What do? Actually set up again. I'm too far away. This guy's by himself. I just kill him. Right. Same thing with Kiriko. He's alone. I just go. Perfectly played. The reason why I went again here because I can't jump. It's too much distance to cover, so I have to set up again. It's either here or here. But I couldn't really cross an open space. I took a little bit too much damage initially because I kind of messed up my jump, but it's alright. Here I just play patient. I don't need to do anything. Just play patient. Just wait. Moving the payload anyway. Here, I got discorded. I don't want to take poke damage. I just...
Enemy detected.
Chilling. You see, they're trying to play the counterplay. Okay, that's not something I can do anything about. But I can just kind of distract the Roadhog so he doesn't get a hurt. This guy... okay, I didn't think... I thought he would be able to die. Poking. Force the lamp, that's pretty good. There's Zen over there. Messed up the hook. I heard a Zen somewhere behind. Oh, he was behind. I didn't kill him. Okay, force barrage. Disengage. I realized when I jumped, nobody was there. I just disengage. Have to wait until I'm full HP and then I go. Like, right now will be good. I also have my primal. And by the way, look. The reason why the visor got so much value is because they're all looking at me. Really well played. Very happy with how I played him. Again, gotta set up, grab the attention initially, but I have to wait to look at my team if they're there. In the meantime, I can just go. And by the way, when I do these right clicks, I force enemies to go away. If they go away, they can shoot my team and they won't die that easily. They really don't like me, but I still need to play in line of sight of my team. These guys overextending. They died. Have to disengage. I'm in danger. Disengage. You see, even in primal, I'm not getting too greedy. I'm in danger. I just leave. Have to set up again. I can't just cross the distance in front of everybody there. Somebody has to shoot the turret a bit. Yeah. Have to place the bubble here. This guy's by himself. Oh, okay, but way too dangerous. He has a hook. This guy's by himself. He dies. Golden Torp for capitalizing on me, and I also had no bubble. That's why it was dangerous. But overall, even though the execution is not perfect, in concept you can see. Zen is out of position, I jump. I saw very low HP, I try to jump. But it was not a good jump in front of a Roadhog because he could have hooked me and I would have died. The idea is to play Winston. You get in, get out, get in, get out, and all this time you're trying to distract for your teammates. And one of the times that you go in, they're gonna be distracted, which then you can capitalize on. You want to spend a lot of time kind of baiting the enemy's attention without losing a bunch of HP by jumping from cover to cover, which is that is relatively close to the enemies. Above them, like to some sort of cover next to them, you have to take the initial pressure as a tank. So then your team can walk forward and take space. And then when they take space, they shoot the enemies, they shoot the enemies turn around to deal with them, and that's where you hard dive. You don't want to commit everything you have before anything even happens.
Now that's teamwork.
Truth be told, I don't know if the healing barrier is gonna help me here and just get destroyed so fast.
Ain't no prairie, but
you know what?
Sure got a nice
yeah, let's just keep it. Same thing here. I'm gonna hold the corner, poke, not get poked out. When the enemies don't pay attention, like let's say they go right side, you know what I can do? Boom. Bam, when they don't pay attention, they're all here. Surprise. Yeah, I'm playing against full counters. Don't swap, it's fine. I'm messing up here and there because they can capitalize on my weaknesses and my strength. He's playing Mauga. Do I care? No. Baiting the attention so they don't shoot my team. Your job as a tank is to absorb more damage than your team. Have to use the corner because Mauga can shoot at me. Have to jump out. They don't die. Ah, my Kiriko I think was AFK. Not trying to overextend or anything like that, but I cut off the healing somehow. No, I think he just missed the healing. I don't have my bubble, so I can't really jump in that deep with my team. Look, I have to look back where my team is at. That's fine. Well, yeah, with that, there's nothing I can do. I tried to place a bubble for him, but it didn't really work. Okay, I don't know what they're doing. So have to disengage a bit. Oh, this guy messed up. They're not paying attention. I have to go. Can't really hard engage. I can't really commit yet. Have to play a bit safer. Grab the health back. See, I don't commit. My team is dead. I have to pay attention. How is this guy doing that? I have to wait for my team before I engage. I will just die if I don't. This guy is dead. Okay. I saw that he's by himself and my team was nearby, and I decided let's go for the Zen, and now they just lose because initially. So I jump on the Zen, I killed him. There was also an Ash there. Everybody was looking at me. My team just popped and started shooting at everybody that was looking at me, and that's why everyone is dead. Pretty okay defense. I can't say I'm playing perfectly, but in concept, I'm applying this concept. You have to understand, I'm not even a Winston player. I just know how to play Winston, and if I play more games and put in more practice, I'm gonna polish the skills that I'm going to look like a potential Korean in the future. But you see, the point I'm making is you initially want to bait the attention of the enemy, so they look at you. Make sure that you don't overextend into open spaces in front of a bunch of enemies. You want to utilize natural cover in the corners, so they look at you and your team can shoot. When your team shoots, they'll turn around to shoot at them, and then, boom, you hard commit with your bubble. But it's very important to look back at your team to see where they're at, because you need to engage within lines of sight where your team is available. You can't just decide to go by yourself, even though you think, oh, enemies are not paying attention. Yeah, but they can't pay attention half a second because your team is not there to capitalize or distract them. You have to make sure that everything that you do is in relative line of sight of your teammate, unless it's like a completely isolated 1v1, so like no one is nearby and there's a Zen there, you can just jump on him by yourself because you can kill him because you have so much HP. Again, gonna sit on the payload, play patient, gonna try to bait the attention so my team takes angle. As soon as they realize that the enemies don't pay attention, I go. And how do I do that? By setting up. I need to bait the attention by either sitting somewhere or setting up. Don't want to take too much cold damage or anything happens. Pushing payload for free, I don't mind. Okay, they discorded me. I have to go back. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Good. Let's see what I can do here. This guy's not paying attention. He dies. That's fine. I can come back at any given moment. Can this guy die? Probably not to me, but if my team follows up a bit, he probably can. Uh-oh. Hey, force him to use his ability. He's jumping away. What is this guy doing? He's by himself, he died. Hopefully. Okay. And we eventually win. They try to counterpick, try to all these things. The reason why I jump on the fair because it's low HP and I can just shoot long range. But notice, they play Rodok, they play Malga, they play some counter, they play Torb, they play Zen, they play everything. But because they played fundamentally sound and I baited the attention, then help my team take the space because I distracted the enemies initially. After they take my team takes the space and start shooting at them, the enemies just turn around. And because they turn around, now they're not paying attention, which then I can hard commit with my bubble and everything that I've got. Until then, I'm trying to not get poked out before the fight so I can set up properly without losing a bunch of HP and triggering my supports to constantly heal me instead of healing my DPS that are shooting at the enemies or even doing damage themselves. And then I'm able to capitalize, I'm able to go in because you can't really engage with no HP. If you have 350 HP, you can jump on the enemies no matter how distracted they are, because if they turn around, you're going to die. It's very important to not engage too early. You have to turn back and see where your team is at to make sure that they can actually follow up. If you'd like to see me do Unranked GM on Winston in the future to demonstrate this concept all the way from metal ranks up to GM, leave a comment down below.